You're looking at videotape you were never supposed to see. It's part of the evidence presented to the jury that found 5 former officials of the Holy Land Foundation guilty of sending more than $12 million to Hamas, a designated terrorist group. But these images would have been lost if a stash of tapes hadn't been discovered in 2006 by a landscaping crew, buried in the backyard of a Falls Church, Virginia home. Homeowner Marcial Paredo doesn't want his face shown, but is willing to tell us about the extraordinary find.
The original tapes were right around this area, about here, so about right here. They dug around this area, they found some more, they put the dirt back, and we also found some tapes over that way.
Paredo says at first, the dozens of tapes just looked like trash.
It was just the reels. The casings themselves weren't there. So I had no clue what they really were. So just the tapes.
Paredo gathered them up in a plastic bag and tossed the whole mess into the garbage. That might have been the end of it if he hadn't mentioned the find to neighbors the next day.
And I told them, hey, look, I found some tapes in the backyard. And of course, they immediately, all my neighbors started telling me all the stories about how the house was under surveillance. It was raided in the past, and basically the history of the previous owners.
That previous owner was Muslim Brotherhood member Fawaz Mushtaha, seen here in one of those buried videos performing with the Al-Saqra band. The song's lyrics include repeated mentions of fighting, killing, blood, and death, while children dance on stage in front of them. Although Mushtaha is no longer in the U.S., he is an unindicted co-conspirator in the case. One of the band members is defendant Mufid Abdelkader, shown here in a skit shooting and killing an Israeli soldier. Other defendants seen in the footage include Shukri Abu Bakr, shown here introducing defendant and former HLF chairman Mohammed El-Mazain at a pro-Hamas rally. Paredo didn't know anything about the Holy Land Foundation, or even exactly what was on the reels of tape, but based on his neighbor's urging, he called a friend with Homeland Security and gave him one of the tapes. His friend passed it along to the FBI.
A couple of weeks went by, I think 2 or 3 weeks, and then they called us. The FBI called us that they wanted the rest of the tapes. So they came over, took the bag, and again, I didn't hear them for a few weeks. Then they called again, and because I had mentioned to them that there were more tapes there, I just didn't gather them all. I took what I needed to do the landscaping. That was it. Came by, and they dug around some more here, and they discovered another bunch of tapes.
Agents told Paredo a previous search of the property turned up only burnt videotape. He told them they should probably take a look in the grill. He hadn't used it, but it was still packed with ashes from the previous owner.
The ashes came pretty high, probably about 5 inches from the top, 5-6 inches from the top.
And it was full of more discoveries.
They started cleaning, and sure enough, the casings of the videotapes were burnt in there, all melted together. And they kept digging, and then towards the bottom they found a burnt cell phone. It was looked like somebody tried to crush it first, and then they tried to burn it. And the most interesting to me was a pack about that thick, and about that wide, about that long, that you could tell it had a map, had money in there. I don't know what denomination. It wasn't dollars, otherwise I would have asked them. But anyway, it was some kind of denomination I couldn't tell. And but there was a whole bunch of papers besides that they found in there, and they took everything basically. They took the ashes. They took everything that was in the grill.
Paredo says no one has explained exactly why the videos were handled this way.
That actually is very puzzling. Why they would burn the casings and not the tapes to actually bury a bag of tapes. I guess they figured that nobody was ever going to look for it. It was very, very strange. I mean, the whole chain of events was very strange. If the tapes would have been 2 more feet that way, they would still be there.